Water is feminine. It's tied to emotional, deep, the depths, the unseen, the subconscious. And I've been thinking about it, and it makes sense to me that the divine feminine that is coming in right now as a collective consciousness is correlated to water, and the knowledge of water, of what water truly is, coming in right now as well. And it makes sense with water being feminine. And Veda Austin is doing great research on water as well. I've talked about her before, but I'll keep bringing her up because she's doing really, really great work on water. It could almost be that this whole divine feminine that is being pushed right now is just the awakening, what we perceive as what the awakening of water is, the truth of what water is. And water holds memory. The Hebrew term for man is mim. Mim, memory. Water holds memory. Water holds all the memories of all this time that exists. Water just doesn't disappear. It evaporates and then it comes back. So water's always been around. So it's been holding memories all of this time. And that's why I did my dry fast. One of the many reasons, but definitely a very important one, was to cleanse out my long dry fast, my extended full dry fast of 96 hours, 4 full days, was to completely purge all of the water, of low frequency water throughout my body that's been there my entire life. I mean, whenever you're born, you are born into, well, you're screaming and crying, but also you're getting all your nutrients from your mother, who's also, she's carrying her own trauma and the food that she's been eating, and that's imparted onto you. And you have no choice about that, but you can do something about that as you get older, and you can dry fast and clean that all out. And that being the point of the extended dry fast, to completely dry that all out, get out all of that water that's been holding memory, all this low frequency water, and then reinstill new water that's high frequency, and from that point forward, only high frequency water. So now I want to talk about bottled water and just bottled, different waters in that area in general. So bottled water, if you are dying of thirst, yeah, go to bottled water, but you really want to steer clear of bottled water. So many microplastics, millions of particles of microplastics shed into the water. Even if you get your water and you put it in the fridge, sure, on the way it traveling to wherever it sits, it's not in an air-conditioned state, so it's going to, the bottle is going to shed the microplastics, and you're drinking millions of particles of microplastics. And all of these companies, I wouldn't say all, but 99% of companies in the bottled water community, they made sure to not make their bottles BPA free, which is why Fiji water is actually pretty good, and I'll talk about them in a second. But yeah, it's easier just to talk trash about Fiji water than it is to actually change your BPA water. So thanks Pepsi, Coke, Dasani, I mean, it's all the same shit. In the Sam's purified water, they've even found toilet paper, trace amounts of toilet paper in that water. The big old giant amounts of purified Sam's water that people go get, got toilet water in there. So yeah, you definitely want to steer clear from bottled water as best you can. So I did mention Fiji water. Fiji water is actually quite good. They went BPA free, or they always have been BPA free in their bottles. So that's definitely the best that you can get when it comes to plastic bottle. And they actually care about their water source, right? And that's why in the societal media, they've made sure to make fun of Fiji water. But I mean, of course, they're going to tear down someone that's actually trying to give you better water that has less toxins in it than change it themselves, because that would hurt some of their profits. And Voss water, Voss water they've made fun of that one as well, and that one's actually in a glass bottle. But something that is that expensive, to me, feels like, if it's that important, the name and the money for it, to me, it also makes me kind of want to steer clear of it. So I'm sure Voss water is really not that bad, but it's certainly not worth the price. So I wouldn't worry about that one. Would steer clear of Voss water as well. But just in general, if you can get water on the go, try to get some glass bottled water. Glass bottled water, at least the glass is not going to shed. I think there's like Mountain Valley water in the bottle. You can aim for something like that. Or if you are able to have the time to prepare your water yourself, you can put it in a vessel, and that can restructure the water. So copper can restructure the water. It's very common to use copper. That's why we used to have copper pipes. That's why copper piping used to be all throughout homes, and they made sure to change that, so that way we don't have structured toxin-free water coming into our homes. It's a little weird, of course. So yeah, you can use copper vessel. You can get a copper water bottle online. They're only like $40 on Amazon. A step higher from that vessel would be silver. Silver is also completely restructures water. Very good, but also very expensive. Not that realistic to do silver, but sure, if you had a cup, completely silver cup, that would be perfect to put your water in to restructure it and raise the frequency of it. Even a step higher would be gold. Gold is just like copper. They are both solar metals. Copper and gold are both solar metals, but gold being the highest level of solar metal. Gold, like there was a reason why kings would drink out of golden goblets. It wasn't just for their display of wealth. I mean, golden goblet would completely and fully restructure water to the highest degree, completely raise the frequency of it. So if you could possibly drink out of a golden goblet, sure, yeah, that would be the most ideal scenario, but once again, that's not. So copper, silver, gold, actually even crystal, I'd say somewhere around like the copper level, but not that copper's bad at all. I mean, you can look on the sides of a bottle, like say you had a water bottle and you poured or a copper cup, and you poured water into it, you'll see some remnants on the sides, and it naturally pushes out toxins to the walls, and you can actually see that happening in copper as well. So copper is very good. There's nothing wrong with that. Crystal, putting in crystal, water in crystal will also do the same thing. Even tin is lower than copper, but there's a reason why in the last world wars we gave our soldiers tin cups and tin canteens to use. It was to help at least somewhat restructure their water and purify their water as well. So yeah, tin, copper, silver, gold. Obviously the most realistic one is copper here, and it's not expensive at all, very conductive. So I would recommend getting a copper cup, copper bottle to restructure your water, raise the frequency of it. You can also restructure and raise the frequency of your water by simply talking to the water. That's another way of where your attention flows, your energy goes. So I'm going to make a video more specifically talking about how to do that, but that is also another way to restructure and raise the frequency of your water. Also, even putting your water out in the sunlight. The sunlight just hitting onto your water can also raise the frequency of it, of your water, and restructure your water as well. So there are many different ways to restructure and raise the frequency of your water, and you're made of water, so it should be something you would spend some time worrying about to make sure that, I mean, we are water, so the water that's going in should be high frequency as well to help raise our frequencies. I mean, it's just like whatever you eat, same thing. Last thing I want to talk about is distilled water. Distilled water gets a very bad rap. Now, I'm not saying it's for everyone, but distilled water certainly has its place. Distilled water emulates the rain cycle, especially if you could do reverse osmosis water, RO'd reverse osmosis water, and you're pretty much emulating the rain cycle. And distilled water, all it is, and the reason that there's a scare about it is because it pulls out minerals, right? But where we are at now as a society, a consciousness, we have too many minerals in our diets. Way too many minerals. We are mineral rich. That's why people are so overweight. There's too many minerals. So for especially overweight people, it wouldn't be a bad idea to drink some distilled water to help pull out some minerals, because too much mineral buildup leads to a lot of problems, and obviously weight. So distilled water, not nearly as bad as it is demonized to be. I would not fear it. It does have a little bit of in some cases I've noticed myself a little bit of an irony taste to it, so I don't really find that big. I'm not that big of a fan of. But that's not always the case. Ideally, I haven't tried myself reverse osmosis water, so that'll be the next thing I'll be pursuing. But yeah, definitely don't worry about distilled water. It's not going to kill you or anything, especially for these majority population that are overweight. You could use some distilled water to help remove all these mineral deposits in your body. We have way too much. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. The water being the divine feminine coming back in right now. Stay away from bottled water. Think about the vessel that it's in. Maybe perhaps get a copper water bottle or a cup. And don't be afraid of distilled water. It's not going to kill you. It's not the devil. And it could help you lose some weight as well, just without even having to change your diet whatsoever. That's it.